should be separating these elements in a two list. One is even, another is odd. You should be returning them. The return value should be stored over here and it should be printed. That means even should print 10, 12, 16, odd should print 11. Let's further add one more element called as 13. Odd should print 11 and 13. This is the code. I want you to write this particular code which is inside the function. Okay. Is the question clear to everyone? Is the question clear to everyone? I'll repeat it again. This is the list given to the user. This is the list populated with the elements. I have passed this particular list to get even odd. This particular function should separate them in two different lists, even and odd. They both should be returned. Return value should come here and it should print it over here. Understood? So kindly work on it. I hope the question is clear now. Pass the list to this particular function, separate these elements in two different lists, even and odd, return those value, print it over here. Kindly start your activity. Take 3 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes, not more than that. Do not paste the solution. When I tell you, that time you paste the solution. No, for simplicity, since we are logic building, you do not have to accept the list. You can take any list, populate it, and do it. One more minute, and then only that particular part of the function code you should be pasting after 1 minute. Even odd for I in so and so, for I percentage to equal to 0, even dot append, else odd dot append, return even odd. Yes. So the new thing out over here was we could return multiple values. We could return multiple values by using something called as return even and odd. That was a new thing out in this particular example. Good. Next question. Don't worry, the solution will be shared by the end of the day. The second code snippet I want you to test is something like this. You have been given a list. You have been given a list. Okay. You have been given a value, and you are supposed to return a list. Kindly pay attention. You are supposed to return a list which is going to have the elements less than x, which is going to have the element less than s. Kindly do not print the value over here. I want you to return a list with a set of the values which are less than 10, which are less than 10. Is the question clear to you, everyone? You're supposed to return a value. You're supposed to return a list with the values greater than, less than x, sorry, less than x. Any doubt in this question? Yes, you can paste the solution. Do not paste the complete solution. I just wanted that particular code. Yes, you created a list, then you appended it, you return the list. Okay, one solution is right. Atinder, you also did the same. Length of L and X was given over here. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So based on the condition, you will have to frame the solution. I said return the list. So you will have to return the list. I never said you should print the contents. Okay, I said return a list. So you should be returning the value. Yes, let's see Dhruv's solution. Dhruv, I think your solution will not work. No, no, it will work. It will work. For I in range length of what is SL? Why your SL and this particular code is not indented? This particular code, it should be like this, indented. Otherwise, this will give me an error. So where is your this one? This is return. It is indented with the for. Okay, noted. Let's go in for the third question. Okay, what you are supposed to do? This is similar to your coding ninja solution. What they are asking is, they are asking whether the list is sorted or not. We'll be taking a list. That particular list is passed to the function called as isSorted. This isSorted function should return true or false. Is this list sorted? If this list is not sorted, so we should return false. If I enter 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, is the list sorted? Yes, it is sorted. So it should return true. It should return true or false. Any doubt in this question? You are given a list, you have to basically check whether the list is sorted or not. Whether the list is sorted or not. Kind, all of you are requested to join with Chitkara email ID. Otherwise, I won't be in a position to recognize you. Yes, wait for a minute. Yes, you can paste the solution now. Sorted list is equal to sorted. Okay. This was a good solution. If a of I less than equal to a of I, flag equal to true, else flag equal to false. And when it is false, you no. You should return true or false. No need to return yes. See, no need to return yes or false. You just say return because printing is done in the main, outside the main. See over here. If you look at my example, printing is done yes, no over here. You're just supposed to compare the value. The moment you find the value not less than equal to so and so, you should simply return false. You should simply return false. What I was telling was something like this. See, initialize I to 0. Okay. I is equal to 0. Okay. What was L over here? L was this particular list. It came over here. I said length of L. Okay, what is the length of L? 5. Is L of I, okay, if L of I is less than I minus 1. So if I take I is equal to 0, it won't work. Yes or no? So I will have to say I is equal to 1. Okay. If I of 1 less than L of I minus 1, is this less than so and so? So straight away return false. Otherwise, keep on doing it. When the complete loop has been iterated, what will happen? It will come out of this and it will return true. But in any of the cases, if this condition is satisfied, that means the list is not in a sorted content. So it should return a false. If I get a false over here, then how will you interpret this? If E sorted L equal to true, then say yes, else false. That means if I get a false, then this condition is false. If this condition is false, it will come here. Let me run this for you. It will display no. Why? Because I am returning false. Since it is false, this will become false. And we know that if condition is executed only if it is true, so it will come over here. Let me change this to 40 and let this be 41. Now let's run it again. When I run it, what happens? All the elements are satisfying the condition. That means it will come out of this particular loop. And what we are returning? We are returning a true. So this is true. So it should print yes. It should print yes. This was the solution. This is a shortcut for checking true or false. If after that you do not have to say equal to true. If is sorted means it is true. So you print yes, else you print no. Are you with me? In the interview, if they ask without sorting, if we have to write a particular code, then you should be in a position to explain this particular code. Otherwise, we do not have anything regarding this. You could simply say sorted and we could return it. Well, the next example is a little bit tricky. Let's see. Let me explain this command first, what it is doing, so that you're comfortable with it. And then print L. Okay. And let me put a comment over here. And let that comment get over here. Let me run this. It It's a list comprehension. It says you accept the value from the user till you don't press enter, assign it to L. Okay, so 10, comma 20, comma 30, comma 40, comma 50, comma 60. Press enter. What will happen? It will give me a list. This will give me a list. Okay, so here I said split equal to comma. Why? Because I'm entering the data in this fashion: 10, comma 20, comma 30, comma 40, comma 50, comma 60. If you do not want this, want a space over here, then you simply say for x in input dot split. For example, 10 space, 20 space, 30 space, 40 space, 50. If I do something like this, for x in input dot split. Okay, is not accepting the space. Print invalid literal value. Making the changes in the wrong place. So if you just want to separate the contents with spaces, you could give this split. If you want a comma, then in the double quote you put a comma. Is this clear to you? Now, what it is saying is something like this. There is one odd element in the list. Okay, there is one odd element in the list. Okay, and you are supposed to return that particular element. You are supposed to return that particular element, right? And that should be printed. And that should be printed. So for that, what you have to do? Let me remove this comment. So this list is accepted from the user. You are passing it over here. Here you are supposed to write a condition. As soon as the first odd element is found, you should return that value. You should return that value. Come on, do it. Yes. Only put the relevant code. Do not put the complete code. So this was very, very simple. Okay. What I told you was the moment you find the first odd number, you should return it. And you did the same by returning that particular value. Okay. The moment you said that this was not equal to 0, you shouldn't print it, you should return it. Instead of break, what you do, you say return that particular value and it should be printed in the outside the function like this, like this. Okay, so but this was very easy. Okay, no one is going to ask you that easy question. Now let's assume this is the contents of the list. Okay, it is not that easy. Okay, you will have to search in the Google how we could do that. Now, what does the question say is in a list, you have to return the odd count of the element. Okay, odd count of the element. If you look over here, what is the count of 10? It is 2. What is the count of 20? It is 2. What is the count of 30? It is 1. It is odd, so you should return it. But the input is not guaranteed to be sorted. But the input is not guaranteed to be sorted. That means input could be 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30, and then 40. Input could be in this particular fashion. So in this case, what we should do? 10 is twice, 20 is twice, 30 is twice, but 40 is 1. So you should return 40. Is this question clear to you? You're supposed to return the count of the number which is occurring odd number of times, if you take this into consideration, if I enter 10, 10, 20, 20, there is no element occurring odd number of times. Clear? So what you should do, you should return -1. In this case the return value is -1. In this case, what is the return value? It is 40. In this case it is 40. Is the question clear to everyone? Is the question clear? You should return the number which is occurring odd number of times. Contents are not sorted. You will have to use one particular function that will make it easy, and that you have to search. Okay, let me see some. Should be written only once the first number that occurs? No, there is only one number that is occurring odd number of time. All are occurring even number of time, but there is only one number that is occurring odd number of time. Okay, so the solution is something like this. This was a difficult one. That's why I said there should be a lot of reading. In the class also, I told you, you should be going through the documentation, reading. So what I did was I accepted a list. Okay, that is perfectly fine. And then I say find odd L. So I declare a variable, make it as none. In our case, I said return -1. If the element is not found, it is return -1. For x in L, count is equal to L dot count x. That means the first element of the list, let me write the list as a comment out over here. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 is not there. What is the value of x in the list? 10. Count is equal to L dot count x. So it will count the value of 10. How many is there? It is 2. If 2 percentage 2 not equal to 0, no. So what will happen? This will be false. So again it will come here. Take the next value 20. What is the count? 2. Take the next value 30. What is the count? 2. Take the next value which is 40. What is the count? 2. Take the next value which is 50. What is the count? 1. So is it not equal to 0? Yes, it is not equal to 0. When you divide 1 upon 2, the count is not equal to 0. It is odd. So what we should do? That particular x should be assigned to rs and return this particular value. In case no element is found, I am returning none. But in this case, what I told you, you should return minus 1. You should return minus 1. So this was the solution. This was a trick part. Okay. Let me now check some of the solutions. Sort, range, j, count, print. Printing shouldn't be done. Printing is not to be done. Printing has to be done outside. I plus 1 length 0 to length next element count 1 if count equal to 1 return. Okay, good. Outside your return. Yes, outside it is. What you should do is you should take a variable, make it as minus 1. For example, r is equal to minus 1. And as soon as the condition is 1, you should say return that particular value. Otherwise, outside you should say return that particular variable. Clear? This part is fine, but you say r is equal to minus 1. Outside the for loop, you should say return r. Because when it will come outside the for loop, when the element is not found, that means all are even. Yes or no? Okay. This is a very simple example compared to the coding ninja. What I want to do, I want you to write a code which will return a list when the element is rotated by 1. That means I want you to return a list which is 20, 30, 40, 10. 20, 30, 40, 10. Do not print it, return it so that I can print it over here. Rotate by 1. Yes. Is it done? Yes. Let me check. Acha, you use the pop method. Okay. Fine. Fine. Good. Just give me a moment. Okay. So now the remaining time, let's start with the small topic which is called multidimensional list. Okay, you'll be typing along with me and running it. Now, what does multidimensional list indicates? It indicates that we have a list with multiple rows and multiple columns. If you look over here, if I say print A0, let me copy this, print A1 and print A2. If I give this command and run it, what it should give me? It should give me the three list, row 0, row 1 and row 2. This is row 0, this is row 1 and this is row 2. Okay, so how do I access this element to 0 0? This is 0 1, this is 0 2, this is 0 3, this is 0 4. This will be 1 0 1 1 1 2 1 3 1 4. This will be 2 0 2 1 2 2 2 3 and 2 4. Are you with me? And if I say print A, what it is going to do? It is going to print the entire list. It is going to print the entire list. Okay, so quickly try it out on your system. We look at the two square bracket out over here, one square bracket outside, and within that we have a set of square bracket. If you want to print it using a loop, then we should do it in this fashion. Is equal to so and so for r in a print r. So what it will do? It will print the contents row by row. So when I say for r in a, it will pick up the first row, print the content, pick up the next row, print the content, pick up the next row, print the content. Are you with me? This is another way in which we could display the contents of the list. Third way, if I need to display the contents one element at a time using the classical loop command. This is the list. Okay, I initialize it over here. For I in range length of A, for J in range length of A of I. Please pay attention. Length of A. So what is the length? It is 4. Okay, length is 4 because how many rows are there? 4. For J in range length of AI, let's add one more so that there is no confusion. Comma 1, comma 2, 9, 5, comma 6. So if you look over here, this has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So length of A of I will give me 6. So this, what is the value of I in this case? It will start with 0. What is J in the range length of AI? It will start from 0 to 5. So no, length is 6. So it should start from 0 to 5. So this will be 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4 and 0, 5. Clear? Next time then what will happen? This will be 1. I will be 1. So this will be starting from 0 to 5. That means it will be 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5. So we are printing the elements one at a time. This is the third way in which we could print the value. Now in this case, there won't be any square bracket because printing doesn't have over here. It is simply printing the contents. It is simply printing the content using nested. Okay, try this out quickly. Kindly mute yourself, everyone. Avinash, mute yourself. Avinash, you are requested to mute yourself. So these are the three methods to display the contents of the 2D list. I'll give you a minute to go over it, then we'll continue. Okay, let's continue. In case you want to populate a 2D list using a single line, for m rows and n columns with the element 0, okay, then how we should do it? Let's try it out. See, 4 rows, 1 2 3 4, and how many columns? 5 columns. We have got 5 columns. So m is equal to 4, n is equal to 5. Now in case of list comprehension, the execution will start from the rightmost loop for x in range m. Now what is the value of m over here? M is 4. M is 4. That means this value of x is running from 0 to 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. How many times it is executing? 4 times. That means this will take care of the rows. Now this should be executed how many times? 5 times. That means this will be executed when this is 0, when x is 0, the inner loop should be executed how many times? 0 to 4. Why 0 to 4? Because this is 5. What we will get? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 0 to 4. Clear? 0, 0, 0, 0. 5 times you will get 0. As soon as this is over, then what will happen? This will become 1. Okay? This will become 1. This particular gap will become 1. Now again start. For the next row, again what we should have? 0 how many times? 5 times. For the next row now, how many you should have? 0. For the next one, and so on. Yeah? Understood? So it will keep on assigning the value 0 using something called as a list comprehension. Using something called as a list comprehension. So this is very, very powerful in the sense you can use a list comprehension to shorten the code. To shorten the code. Are you with me? So let me paste this for you. The next command is, which I explained it in the online class, was how do I append a list to the existing list? How do I append a list to an existing list? So imagine this is my list with how many rows? 3 rows. How many columns? 5 columns. So what I want to do? I want to append a list. So I say a dot append so and so. Click on the run. Now how many rows you should have? 1, 2, 3, and this one 4. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are having 4 rows. We are having 4 rows. So a dot append allows me to append the rows over there. So let me copy this. What if I want to extend a particular row? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. How? Using something called as a particular row dot extend. A particular row dot extend. So I have a list which says 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. And then I'm saying A0 dot extend. That means what does A0 indicate? The first row. So the first row will be extended by 12, 14, 16, 18. That means my first row will have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Let's check it. Let's run it and check whether it is giving me that particular result or not. Oh, I guess we lost the connection. Yeah, we got it over here. Clear? Now, what I want you to do is something like this. Given this particular list, I want to print the sum of all the elements. Okay? I want you to print sum of all the elements. Let me mute myself for 2 minutes. I want you to write the code to display sum of all the elements. I will just come in 2 minutes. I'll mute myself. What I need to do, I need to find the sum of all the elements. If you're done, print it. S is equal to 0 for I in L. S is equal to sum. Okay, you use that sum function. Nice. Sum plus equal to A of ij. Good. S is equal to S of Aij. Good. 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 Okay. I wanted to show you one example before I close down. How to add one to each element. How to add one to each element in the list. So we have got a 2D list. Okay. So no need of having this so that we get the space. And then we print the result. Okay. So it is quite straightforward, just like finding the sum. What I did, I said rows is equal to length of A. So how many rows are there? There are 2 rows. So this should give me 2. It should give me 2. Columns is equal to length of A0. What is A0? This one. What is A1? 147. Let me explain this to you. If you display it, it will be clear to you. So internally, it will be stored in a single line, but for visualization, I have written 235 147. If you look over here, how many rows are there? 2. So rows will be 2. How many columns are there? 1, 2, 3. So columns will be 3. So this should give me 2. This should give me 3. So let's remove this now. Let's also remove this. For row in range of rows. If you're getting confused between this rows and so on, simply say R, simply say C, and here we'll say R, and here we'll say C. For R in range rows, that means what is rows? In this case, it is 2. What is column in this case? It is 3. So for R in range of rows, that means R is 0. For C in range of columns, it is 0. So 0, 0, 1 should be added. That means take this 2, 1 will be added to this. Okay. Now inner loop will continue. What is the value of C now? It is 1. That means R will still be 0. It will be 0, 1. That means where we are now? Over here. Add 1 to it, it becomes 4. Over here, what is the value of C now? It is 2. So 0, 2. At 0, 2, what I have? I have 5. Add 1 to it, it becomes 6. It becomes 6. Clear? The loop is over. Then what should happen? R will now be 1. R will now be 1. Remember, R is now 1. Columns again will start with 0. So now at 1, 0, because R is 1, C is 0, we have 1. Add 1 to it, it becomes 2. Then 1, 1. We have 4. Add 1 to it and so on. Yeah? So this illustrates how we could add 1 to each and every element. Copy this, paste it. Yeah, understood? Okay. So quickly, the attendance time quickly. I will ask the name. You kindly tell me whether you are present or not. Roll number 127. Roll number 127. 1162. 1220. 1239. Kindly answer your roll call. 1249 Avinash. 1249 Avinash. 1250 Aman. 1251. 1252. 1253. 1254. 1255. 1256. Nitish Yadav. 1257. 1258. 1259. 1260. 1259. 1260. 1261. 1262. 1263. 1265. Avinash, yeah, it is noted. 1265. 1266. 1267. 1268. 1269. 1270. 1271. 1272. 1272 Garbit. 1273. 1274. Yes, Piyush, you are present. I have noted it down already. Yes, Nikhil, I have noted it down. 1273. 1274. 1275. 1276. 1277. 1278. 1279. 1280. 1281. 1283. 1285. 1286. 1288. 1289. 1290. 1291. 1292. 1293. 1294. 1295. 1296. 1297. 1298. 1299. 1301. 1302. 1303. 1304 305 1304 1305 3004 3014 508 5039 5042 5044 5045 5046 5047 5048 5049
5049, sir.
5051. Yeah, noted. Anyone who was not in a position to answer the roll call when I was taking, they should type it now. Harshit 1305, let me check it. Noted. Abhinav Sharma, noted. Avinash Verma already taken care of 1249. Isha noted. 3014. Yes, Gaurav already noted. Yes, that's it. You all can leave now.
एक्सक्यूज मी सर।
Yes.
सर मैंने जैसे अटेंडेंस चेक की थी अपनी, तो
What's your
उसमें
name?
मैंने, सर माय नेम इज अभिनव शर्मा, अभिनव शर्मा।
Roll number
सर 5047।
5047. Okay.
सर
Abhinav
यस।
Sharma. Yeah.
सर मैंने तो सर अभी तक मतलब एक भी क्लास मैंने मिस नहीं की टिल नाउ।
अटेंडेंस लेते समय आपने बोला था अटेंडेंस ली थी,
यस सर यस।
तो कितना है अभी अटेंडेंस आपका?
मेरा सर 97, पता नहीं 99 ऐसे कुछ है।
विल
सर
चेक इट आउट, विल चेक
यस
इट।
सर प्लीज। ओके सर ओके। सर मैंने आपको व्हाट्सएप पे मैसेज भी किया हुआ है।
डू नॉट मैसेज मी, आई डू नॉट सी द व्हाट्सएप। ओके, क्लास में ही बोला
ओके
करो।
सर नेक्स्ट टाइम अगर कोई क्वेरी हो तो फिर ईमेल करूँ आपको?
ईमेल कर लो। नॉर्मली ईमेल इसलिए करो कि कोडिंग में कोई दिक्कत हो, अटेंडेंस के लिए आप क्लास में ही बता देना, ठीक है?
ओके सर प्लीज चेक कर लेना एक बार।
आई विल डू दैट।
ओके थैंक यू सर।
Any other issues anyone has? I have already spoken to Coding Ninja regarding the Coding Ninja platform. If no, if some of the students have not got it, so wait till evening or wait till tomorrow, you should be getting it. 1305 noted. Harshit Singh, wait till morning, okay? It should be visible to you. Harshit, tomorrow morning, if it is not visible to you, yeah, Avinash, it is noted. 1249, it is noted. You can leave. Harshit, tomorrow morning, if it is still not visible to you, okay, I need your username and password so that I can check it. Clear? Harshit, tomorrow, wait till tomorrow 10 o'clock. In case it is not visible, I will take your username, password, check it. Okay, you all can leave. I am ending the session now.